What a night it's been already. If you are just joining us, John Chambers through to the final from semi-final one. He dispatched Eddie Barker in a 6-red shootout after losing the first set. Declan Brennan breaks off. That 8-ball was moving, and it was moving towards a pocket, as I think you heard the groans and the oohs and ahs of the crowd as well.
This layout might feel like a golden break for Declan Brennan. This is chalk this one up. That's how he's feeling here. This couldn't be a better layout.
How close the 8-ball was, but yeah, it's almost better really. I think Declan would rather have this frame than a golden break in a strange way.
Assuming he gets it, and I'm a big believer you can't give it to them until they got it, because it only takes half a positional shot to go wrong, and all of a sudden you start going down a bad path. But all things being equal here, Declan should get these. Yes, you'd feel he'd be happier to do that than have a break, a golden break, simply because, yeah, he'll be up and running. You know, Q arm's going. Yes, it's the same result. You earn the same number of frames for it. You just feel better about it.
Declan historically has always been a fabulous big game player. We saw that in Morocco, the match you mentioned, the World Masters final, the epic in Agadir against Tom Cousins, which is still, for my money, one of the finest matches I've ever had the privilege of witnessing. Just essentially the two best players in the world playing in front of a good few hundred people, and it was magnificent. But Declan taking the win in that environment felt like almost like a coming of age in a way. It was I'm now right at the very, very top level of this game.
And he's getting himself into a rivalry, I think, with Tom. We've seen a few finals between them now, and they've gone both ways. I just think that these two could be battling it out for a long time yet.
Oh, absolutely.
And I, for one, sign me up for that, by the way.
Yeah, agreed. Declan Brennan then, as expected, is going to take down frame one. It was a brilliant break. And by his standards, very routine finish. And as you mentioned, he's brought a few with him, and they are getting right behind their boy here.
Made the decision to move over from Northern Ireland, what was it, probably 8-9 months ago now. Bases himself about an hour away from here, has a really good support from the club. Essentially now a full-time player, practicing every day, putting the time in, puts a lot of time in with Tom Jones, and they're helping each other in that regard.
That was Declan Brennan. This is Andrew Patchett. We know Declan has the calibre. He's been there, seen it, done it. For Andrew Patchett, you get the feeling he needs to start well, and that wasn't the break he was looking for, without any doubt.
Complete miss hit of a break. Watch the cue ball here below the centre pocket, and it makes it very congested, very little happening with this.
Although you get the sense Declan will probably go.
Yeah, you do. It'll be yellows. Yellow on the bottom cushion is a problem, but you've got the ball above it. One below the 8-ball's a problem, but you've got balls around it. So this is actually doable.
Yellow ball's in play.
And if the first finish was routine, this absolutely not. But again, if he can make it, what a message it sends, what a statement it would be. I mentioned that move over from Northern Ireland to England. Resides now in Merseyside. And that shot's gone slightly wrong. Just needs to find a recovery here. The one thing Declan sort of really emphasises that's changed for him is just his sharpness. He feels like he's coming in to every match he ever plays now. There's no, warming up period necessary. He feels so sharp all the time. Doesn't need a game off to get him started in a tournament anymore. And you can see that sharpness in frame one. He's got the option here. He's been a little fortunate. He was unlucky maybe to get the cannon he did, but he's probably been fortunate to have this ball on down the rail.
It looks like he's still going to go. He can't get the cue ball off the cushion, so he's looking at yellow up the table. He did have an option there. He could have bumped that over the pocket and sort of welded up towards the red, but that would have potentially given Andrew a chance for a loss of turn and maybe got a foothold in the frame. So the deciding aggression is the right decision, as it often is amongst the top players.
Just wobbles it in.
Does that yellow go?
There's Declan's sister, as he mentioned earlier. weekend for them. Originally, the plan was to come over for the trophy parade for Declan's beloved Liverpool, but he's hoping for a trophy parade of his own this evening.
Certainly is. That little feather on a couple of shots ago when he played the one to top right means that this yellow opened up. That little tiny feather. He's left himself more angle than he wanted. That's the only thing you'd say here. He had more angle on the previous one, which means he's got more angle on this one.
Trophy looming large in the background. And he's played a lovely shot. Very, very good start from Declan Brennan. The first frame was routine. This, as I mentioned, could be a statement. And, well, I think is. Declan Brennan is not here to play games.
Yeah, a statement start. The first break was good. You expect him to make that clearance. That was better. There was work there. Didn't land perfect when he played his breakout. Just reset and went again. Andrew knew before the match started he was going to have to play his best level. He knows for certain now.
Sticking with the front ball break. Declan can chop and change. But that's his preferred method. You can't believe it's dry, really. It's an unbelievable, powerful strike. You can, and I hate to throw our brilliant referee 𝗪𝗁𝗃𝗲𝗍 under it a little bit, but didn't quite come apart as I know the ref sets himself high standards for it to do so, but Declan's power there, you'd have expected to have made a ball regardless. So first, real shot at the table for Andrew Patchett, and already a little shake of the head there as that red's just gone further down the table and become a touch awkward.
Yeah, this is a very important visit to the table. His semi-final starts here. Ignore the scoreline. Nothing you can do. He hasn't had an opportunity until this moment, so there's nothing you can do in the first two frames. But if he could take these out and have the next break, he's absolutely where he's meant to be.
How big do you think the experience of already playing a semi-final this weekend will be for him? This now is nothing new, whereas when he qualified, it was absolutely something new.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think it was huge for John. I think it's huge for Patch. I really do. Is he straight enough here to hold? Can he use the top cushion? You would like, because the 8 ball doesn't go to bottom right, you don't want left centre to be your last ball. So you want to be playing this one to get onto the one over the centre pocket, and the one underneath the 8 ball becomes your last ball. That's not going to be the case here. I think Andrew was hoping to just catch that a little bit fuller, hold on the one in the centre and still be able to drop it in and see the red down the table. There's an argument if the line's available to play the one to bottom right and play the cue ball into the 8 ball, but the yellow on the bottom cushion might be in the way of that shot. Well, the fact that he can still see this ball is big. That changes things. He's actually in good shape still.
Yeah, I think he played a great shot there, you know.
Yeah, I was working on the assumption he wasn't on that ball. I didn't think he was there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, so was wary of committing, but yeah, now he's sort of fired that one in. I think he actually played a really good shot, the shot before that.
Agreed.
And once again, not for the first time we've seen Andrew on our screens this season, he's taken out a very, very good finish. And also, in a very sort of clear and coherent way as well. A lovely way to pick apart a tricky layout. Big night for Andrew, and he's brought his followers with him. Partner Becky in his corner. There's a couple of the nippers as well. And he will have a huge, huge following back in Yorkshire watching this as well. Who will be rooting for their boy to get it done in finals night tonight. Yeah, you can see how attentive he's being, because he saw the last Declan Brennan break and he's just gone to check the rack before he breaks, and he's gone for the cut break, which I find interesting.
Yeah, his front ball break was so poor, I'm not surprised to see this. Change it up completely. Do that for the rest of the night.
Why would you ever not break like that? Wowee.
It's actually too good.
The old, if anything, he's hit them too well.
I mean, too many balls have been potted here. That's the problem. And the yellow, 8-ball and red are all tied up in the break area.
I don't know if it's terrible. You know, reds are obvious. You have to go reds here, but
the first shot's horrible though, along the bottom cushion. And if you don't take the one along the bottom cushion, you go for the one up the table. It's a tough pot, but you're leaving a terrible ball down the table.
I think the fact you can pretty much concentrate just on the pot here helps. Natural path of the cue ball's where he wants it to be, and you'll take that.
Fabulous shot. Absolutely fabulous shot.
There's a real, sorry Simon, a real quietly spoken confidence about Andrew this season. He's more than happy not being spoken about, being the underdog, suits him down to the ground. But you can tell when you speak to him there's a genuine belief that he can win tonight. And that's what we often say is the difference. Plenty of players think they can win, but it's that genuinely held belief which is harder to find.
Agree.
His team Patchet watches on.
Just needs to pop the 8-ball into play.
I love that choice.
Nicely done. This 8-ball now goes. I was wondering whether he would try and get to where he was previously as his last ball, because you were going to hold on the yellow. He decided to leave the red to top left, so it kind of personal preference. This, I guess, gave him a second option if it didn't go to plan, so probably was the right way.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was just about to say, because how many times do we see it? You leave your cannon for the 8-ball till last and end up hooked on the 8-ball, but what a start it's been from these two players. Mentioned they were probably the two form players coming into the night, and they've played like it. The first 4 breaks have been, first 4 frames I should say rather, have been exceptional. 4 fantastic finishes. Declan's pair to start has been answered, and we go into the witching hour of the first set here, ticking down towards the 15-second shot clock zone. 7 minutes left when Declan breaks off here, and it is absolutely anybody's set. And in a strange way, we thought the first 2 frames from Declan were a bit of a statement. That actually, conversely, was a real statement from Andrew as well. Declan, if he didn't know it already, knows he has to play really well tonight.
Yeah, and 2 challenging layouts for Andrew as well. First one, you feel like he should. That second one, that was brilliant.
Massive break from Brennan. Massive. Work, though.
Doesn't have an opener, does he, on yellows? Reds aren't a great option by the looks of things, unless the 2 on the left-hand side are easier than they look.
I actually think yellows are a touch tricky, because I don't think the yellow passes the 8-ball.
The one that he's nearest to might go to the corner, and he can clip the one to the middle, so this is doable. This actually opens up a problem straight away. Yeah, the fact that he could do that was quite big.
Yeah, it's a lovely opening shot.
Now, if the yellow passes the 8-ball, it's an easy plant. If it doesn't, the yellow being over the pocket now means that he's got more chance of making it. Come round to check.
It does look tight. I mean, I look at it from the overhead camera we've got here, and it looks like it doesn't go at all. This will tell us. Oh, it flew in.
Of course it did. Of course it did. So that first shot, having the ability to clip that yellow in first shot was big, because he could go straight into the biggest problem on the table.
Yeah.
And he couldn't have played it at a better pace.
Yeah, it was perfectly played and executed. 5.5 to play in the first set. First 4 frames of the set have essentially just led us here. It's now straight shootout with 5 minutes left. It's whoever leads at 0 that will take the victory. And remember, the first set win is so big. your opponent knows they can only qualify with a 6-red shootout. And there's not many players who will have the confidence of Declan Brennan in a 6-red shootout right now, having won his last 4 in fact, all in the Champions League.
He's won quite a few on the trot now. I think where Declan's got to with a 6-red is that he knows he's going to stick in 23, 24 worst case. That puts pressure on.
And he's absolutely perfect here. At least it looks like it. Causes extension. Looks like he's got a hair of angle just to come down slightly to the right side of the table, just to avoid the red he's queuing over.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
He feathers the 8-ball. That is massive. What a mistake.
What a turning point. What a turning point that could be. So everything was all in a line there on that shot for Declan. The 8-ball, the red and the yellow. It was already a tricky little shot because, as I say, if he cues back in a straight line, he's snooking on the 8-ball. So he knew he had to pinch a little bit of pocket and play a good shot hampered. But in hanging as long as he did to line it up good, he's ended up fouling, and a huge moment in this first set.
That is the first set. For me, that, you know, dry break aside, you know, if Andrew makes the ball off the next, Mopsy's up and then makes the ball off the next, it's all his. It's such a big mistake.
Love the way Andrew's worked these out as well. Nice angle here, just trapped behind the one on the rail. And we know from experience in this year's tournament, Andrew is never ever afraid of leaving himself a tough pot if he needs it.
That used it all. Shake of the head because of it. That wasn't his finest piece of cueing. But he's still absolutely perfect.
So this for the lead with just a little over 2.5 remaining. What a massive moment in the match that is. And you can hear the respectful applause as quieting down a touch there. The Brennan crowd almost don't quite know what to make of that frame. That was such an extraordinary way for that frame to happen. Patchet cut breaking, that 8-ball flying everywhere. It is dry though, and we get the teapot from Patchet. 2.5 minutes, and Declan Brennan potentially with a reprieve.
Yeah, it's Andrew's thinking, make a ball, and I've got this set on the board. Now he's just hoping, well, that's another mistake from Declan.
Wow. And
now it's essentially as though he's made a ball here. Just needs to make sure. 2 minutes to play.
Extension called.
It's a messy layout now, though, so decision time. How many balls to pot? Do you want to chase one? How many balls does he have to pot to win the set? Declan can't quite believe what's happened here. Should have been 3-2 up. Had an opportunity to get back to 3-3 and missed a very bad ball by his standards.
I don't know if that's the best shot Andrew Patchett's ever played, because the breakout was always on with that shot. And he's basically hedging his bets that Declan won't get these, and I think Declan absolutely fancies it. It's tough, but what a chance this is.
Great pot. Yeah, that was I don't mind the decision-making from Andrew, just the execution of the shot was a poor one.
He's going to get away with it. The bet works. Whoa. I've seen some risky bets in my time. That felt like another one. But Andrew Patchett's bravery, because it's a brave decision to essentially turn the table over in that scenario.
Once Declan made that one to left centre, I just expected him to get those. The time wasn't really an issue. You know, over a minute to play and 5 balls. I'm really surprised with the 2 misses in this frame. Really, really shocked.
Well, in a tournament of upsets, Declan Brennan, final seed still standing. But will he be another victim of the Andrew Patchett run? He has had some tournaments so far, Andrew Patchett. In terms of the standard of the rest of the tournament, that's another 20-minute match in which he's beaten one of the best players in the world. Fabulous from firepower. He wins the first set, and if Declan Brennan is to make the final, he has to do what he's done before and win a 6-red shootout, but he must win the next set before we get to that, and it's coming up next. Well, there is Declan Brennan, the defending champion, with a massive moment in that last set, and we found the camera angle that you're all wanting to see. This was the turning point. The foul happened here, and there you see the red just rocking back off the bottom of the cue. Massive moment, and that, I know Declan made mistakes in what ended up being the final frame, but that really was the turning point.
That was the moment. He goes 3-2 up if he gets that right. I think he spent quite a lot of time 2 balls before that trying to make the decision, do you go up for that ball into the centre pocket, which he couldn't get up there and leave one down. He was always going to have to play that as his last ball to the 8 ball. So he was taking a lot of time to figure it out, and in the end he decided to leave it to the corner, which I think was a good choice, but it left hampered. Oh, nearly an 8 ball to start here. Left hampered queuing, and it's still a major surprise to see him do that, because the way that both of them started, you just thought that it was going to be who had the chances.
Andrew feeling every moment on that break. He really does strike me as a man who is absolutely locked in at the moment. And I tell you what, these yellow balls are not bad.
Oh, they're brilliant. They are absolutely brilliant.
And remember, if Andrew Patchett draws or wins this set, he is in the final, where John Chambers awaits him. Well, the first mistake of Andrew Patchett's night, and it is not one that certainly I saw coming, and I don't think anybody did.
I'm really surprised by this. Yeah, played it with a decent amount of side, trying to go into that yellow for control. Probably overhit it a touch as well, maybe, you know, being ultra critical. And if he's left the red through the gap, but in a way where he can move the yellow, yeah, well, he can move the red as well. I mean, it's, ooh, that's okay. For a second I thought that yellow was just going to cause him a slight issue, because that's where that red wants to go, is the right centre. But it's come out nicely here for Declan.
Yeah, and I just wonder how much confidence Declan can take, and will take, from his method of victory in the Champions League last year. Remember, finals night he won 2 6-red shootouts. So it's got to give you some good feeling that, because you're ordinarily, if you lose the first set in a best of 2, it's a really bad place to be. But of all the people, I feel like Declan Brennan would be one of those who still feels like he's absolutely right in the night.
Yeah, he's overhit this one as well. I agree with you, because he's been so good at the 6-red shootouts for a while. He was good at it when he was on a losing run. He was still putting in good times, just coming out on the wrong side. Very rare you see him set a slow time at all. But he's got to get there.
Lovely recovery. Really, really good shot there. He's tight on this red, but I don't think he has to turn it.
No, he's fine. It's just more angle than he wanted.
Lovely.
It means he's got to play for this 8 ball for the corner. It looks tight. It actually looks very tight. Couldn't hold for the 8 ball there.
Yeah, just slides in. Well played. And Andrew Patchett blinks first in the second set. Declan Brennan quick to pounce.
That's a really big error from Andrew, because you've got Declan down, because you've got the favourite down, and this is a layout where Andrew should get these. And if he could start with a break clearance, it just keeps Declan thinking about the mistake he made. In fact, the 3 mistakes he made in the end. Now he's kind of not let him off the hook, because he's still a set up here, but he's, you know, Declan will now be thinking, you know, forward again rather than back at what has gone before. Gets a good layout. Reds look good here, but the red's guarded by yellows at the bottom of the table. I can't believe he's going to go reds now. He's going to go yellows. So often the case. You make 3 of 1, you will go the other set. The 3 at the bottom, the left-hand one of the 3 passes the red to the corner. You land straight on that, or near straight on that, and it is going to be frame over. So these 3 at the top. So that's the only shot. Assuming he makes this one, that is the only shot that could go wrong, is that transition down. A little bit short. Wanted another 2-3 rolls on that. 2-3 rolls, and he tracks down the middle of the table. Now he's sort of forcing it a little bit more from a bridging position as well. Gets some side on that to come 2 cushions to track the line. Played it well. To how he started the opening set of the match, back to back.
Yeah, tremendous start from Declan Brennan. It just goes to show, when you're in front of a player who is as good as Declan, you have to keep your foot on the throat.
It does feel a little bit like he's let him off here. And we should remind ourselves, though, that Andrew did win the opening set from 2-0 down. So there's nothing new here, but he's allowed Declan back in.
Yeah, and we've spoken a lot about Andrew's confidence and how much of it he's playing with at the moment. I spoke to him about that this weekend, and felt like that it's not like he's playing flawless pool. Like, every player makes mistakes, and you know, Andrew's no exception. But at the minute, it feels like he's got the complete confidence of a player that knows he can still win even when he makes mistakes. He's coming back to the table. He's feeling confident that he's going to get the chance to win the match. And I saw that in some of his matches at the weekend. There was a couple of matches he didn't play well in at all, but one, and that's a really good sign.
Yeah, completely agree with you.
Excellent shot there.
You're always going to make mistakes out there. Rare you play those flawless matches, so it's all about just coming back time after time. This layout looked a little bit awkward with that red on the left-hand side, but as long as the 8-ball goes, it actually wasn't too bad. You could have left that red, it could have left it as a double, it would have been fairly comfortable for him as well. If the 8-ball needs a nudge, though, there's still plenty on this visit. Well, yeah, a big surprise. It's a surprise when you see Declan miss anything, but look at the layout he's left here. Andrew will be thrilled to get to the table, but this is horrible. He's got to find a way to get a foothold in this frame and try and get himself a chance to win it. I don't think it will be at this visit. And that hasn't helped. Trying to make it happen, it hasn't.
Wonder if he can maybe work towards playing a really, you know, pot a couple of balls to work towards the safety. There's an area at the top of the table which is really good for him. And yeah, just tries to tie up that section.
Trying to get that yellow in front of the 8-ball, I believe. Try and tie the 8-ball up even more. Yeah, he knew he was going to leave something on for Declan. That wasn't really avoidable. So just trying to make it as hard as he possibly can, and hasn't done really. I still think the 8-ball might need to be moved. I don't think you can pot it from where it is. He's got a couple of balls to do it with. Patience. If Declan goes there, then he knows he's going to get the reds out of the way. It's just whether he can deal with the 8-ball. And at 2-0 up, do you really want to be chasing it? Cue ball. It's okay. Still has to solve this 8-ball then. I think the two reds that are together at the top, the bottom one will pass the top one to top right. So if you can land low on it, you can play into the 8-ball and yellows while staying on the other red to right centre.
Just like that.
Well, you can also go into it from the one in the middle of the table, which I actually think he is going to now, the way he's looking. Wants to try and avoid the yellow and come on and off the cushion, by the way he was pointing that line. If he does try and find that line, very easy to miss the yellow and 8-ball here and come on and off the cushion straight through the gap. The bigger target is off the red up the table. Went into the yellow, played it beautifully. That was nice. Very nice. Shake at the head here, but this looks good. I know he's got a little bit more angle than he wants. Is it to pull up? Well, that's why I didn't like it. It was too much angle. Knew he was sending that red down the table. Now he's got an off-angle plant, and he's got to play on a moving ball with yellow's on the left-hand side of the table. You know, he's looking to try and work out where the red's going to go. Looks like it's going to go off the bottom cushion up towards the sort of left centre of the table. Well worked out.
Yeah, excellent.
Was about to get down and pot it. In the end, he just caught himself. Wanted to run the clock. He has been told that you can't run the clock there. Not allowed to just stand there doing nothing until you get to the final 5 minutes of the match. I'll Referee 𝗪𝗁𝗃𝗲𝗍 just reminding him of that. Very rare that comes into play, actually. It's very rare you're that far in front and with the kind of need to do it, but 3-0, 7 minutes to play. Absolutely understandable.
Break. Leading 3 frames to 0.
𝗏𝗏𝗏 was tracking for a brief moment, stopped in its tracks.
So Andrew Patchett gets first go at these. $3-0 down, and he can still hold on hope here. He doesn't need to win this set, remember. 3 frames in the next 6 minutes, and that in terms of pace is absolutely fine. And he will be in the Champions League final. That's a brilliant breakout shot. He's still got some hard work here, though.
If he can get straight enough on the yellow to bottom left, he can get onto the one below the 8-ball, or he can slide across for it now. And he's kind of done neither. If he'd pulled up shorter than that, hit the gap, then you could get there. Now Declan can run clock if he so chooses.
Declan causes extension and knows everything is going his way in this set.
Be a little bit annoyed that red's gone so far up the table, or hasn't come another turn or two down the table. Just for, he'll be thinking when he gets back to the table and making life easier, but he's got to get back to the table first. Good effort that from Andrew, but he's left an angle here for Declan to pop the red and go into the yellow.
Yeah, lovely shot.
Now he'll be regretting this red at the top, unless he can still pot it. And he couldn't. So that previous shot, when he just put that red too far up the table, stopped him from being able to get out there.
Oh, unlucky. Great effort. Not sure how good a shot you've had at the 8-ball. Minds. Obviously, the cue ball wouldn't have ended up exactly there if he'd have made it, but
He'd have taken it.
He'd have taken anything, yeah. Declan is going to keep doing, inverted commas, the right thing. But he will have to go now with the yellow so close there and all the reds in the open. This is the chance now for Declan to go and get his work done, win this second set 4-0 and have the momentum going into the 6-red shootout. After the massive error that Declan made in set 1, He'll be so pleased with his powers of recovery here.
It was just a blip, wasn't it, for Declan? A very surprising blip. It's going to cost him a chance to win it. He's going to have to do it in the 6 red, but that's nothing new, as you've said many times tonight.
It's 8 ball to send us the distance. The second Champions League semi-final goes to a 6 red shootout as well. Declan Brennan is in another one.
Yeah, he is. And last time to come through to this stage, it was a 3-way and he decided to go last, but he has been going first. There was a very poor lag from Andrew, and it looks like he's going to put Declan in. So
no, it was Declan with the poor lag.
Very poor lag from Declan. But what I'm getting at is that I think Declan was going first. Whoever won the lag is where I'm going.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. Declan Brennan to set the time in the 6 red shootout. It's déjà vu for Dec, who was here at this point last year. Great break.
Just had to wait for that red to get out of the pocket, but the split is lovely.
He is flying. Just took his time over that one, and that's why that one was waiting at sub 20. And if Andrew Patchett is to secure passage through to his first ultimate pool final, he is going to have to dip below a 20-second 6 red shootout. Declan Brennan flew through those.
I'll tell you what, he did some running around the table on that one as well. He was back and forth, back and forth. The split was brilliant. Had to wait that little bit longer for the first shot than he would have liked, but he knew the split was good. Everything was a stop shot, and that allowed him to go quickly. Did the right thing going for the extra split second on the one into right centre, because if you just rush that and hit the near jaw, you turn a 19-second and change into a 25-26. So he just did the right thing.
Hearing inside my ear that it's 19-24. Here we go then. Andrew Patchett, to achieve something he hasn't before, needs to do something he hasn't before. Firepower. Needs to turn on the turbo. It's not a bad break, you know.
Had to wait a little bit too long, and having that ball go up the other end of the table was going to make it so challenging.
He can fly now. That ball at the other end of the table might be Declan's saviour, because the rest aren't too bad at all.
It's the time for the cue ball.
Oh, you got to feel for Andrew Patchett, who comes up just short. But Declan Brennan, once again in a 6 red shootout, has the answer. It really is his world in the Champions League. For the 2nd straight year, he's into the Champions League final. For the 2nd straight year, it's been a 6 red shootout. And the destroyer is trophy hunting once again. When we return, it's the time for the Champions League final.